What up? And welcome back to episode 2 of Sample That Podcast. My name is Garrett Schwank.
And I am Dylan Matthew.
And we are...
So good looking.
You're not wrong. What were those names?
Mario and Luigi.
No. You had a good combination name. Back.
Oh, and the Sunset Society stuff?
Yeah.
Shit, it was like... Oh, man. Garandill's Epic Thrills.
I feel like it wasn't that, but, you know.
We'll have to go back. We'll find it. We'll find it, and episode 3 will be locked in.
Yes. We'll get back to that.
Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. If you listened to the first one and you're now here listening to the second one, welcome. And thank you for being here. If you're listening to this one and you haven't listened to the first one, also welcome. Maybe go listen to the first one, but they don't go in order. So you can listen to whatever you want, whenever you want. It's a free world.
Dope. That's a sample, bro. I speak in samples. What can I say?
You actually do 100% speak in samples. He has like catchphrases that he uses. It's hundo P. Sometimes when he's like in a really good mood, it's like something weird about like 100%, but it's like weirder. Like
I don't even know what that means.
You'll be like, one hundo grizz, dog. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Pretty sure I've never said that.
You said something like that last night. I don't know what it was. It was weird.
Those are not facts.
Is there facts? That's another one.
I said a grizzle. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. I don't know. But this is the same thing. Or he'll be like, I'm not opposed to everything. It's so annoying.
Dang. His favorite line.
I still love him though.
Dang. I still love you too. When I'm not opposed. I'm just kidding.
All you ever are is not opposed.
Okay, we're jumping into it. Today,
in.
Today we are discussing the life of a touring musician.
We're starting strong today.
I know, yeah.
Silly, goofy moods.
Dang. Where do we want to start with this?
I
have an idea.
Okay.
Let me just cut you off right there.
Yeah. Fuck my opinion. Continue.
Think no further.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just thinking maybe we could briefly talk about this last tour for a quick sec and then jump into a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
But what were you thinking?
I was going to say we can explain a little bit about our like touring and live history.
Okay.
Clearly, we do not script these podcasts. We're just here for the vibes.
We out here doing the thing. I mean, whatever you want, dog. I thought the last one would be kind of interesting because that was the last one. Yeah.
Let's talk about the last one. So we just toured a couple months ago now in December and the very end of November. I think like the last day of November. I don't know if that counts.
It's like right after Thanksgiving. We were out.
Yeah. And it was my first headline tour, or solo headline tour, I should say. And it was the No Rain, No Flowers tour off of the EP that I had just put out. Well, it came out the day that we started the tour in New York.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Right?
even know that.
No, it came out the day that we started in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's just like, how would I not know that? Like,
Yeah,
what?
no, I'm dumb. I forgot that they like ended up splitting up.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Okay, so technically I started in San Diego for the EP release show. It was a couple weeks before we went on like the full run. And we did San Diego. We had a couple weeks to relax and keep practicing. And then we went out on the road for a couple weeks, hit like 10 cities, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we hit all the cities. We had to cancel one show because I got really sick, which was very unfortunate. But yeah, it was my first solo headline tour, and it was really fun. I had a great time. I think touring is a lot about like the people that you're with too, because touring can be really hard. It's very tiring. It's very stressful. It's very weird schedules. You barely eat the whole time. But
debatable.
I barely ate.
James and I, shout out my dog James. We were cooking, good looking, and making those gains.
I was like, dude, there's no way you just canceled that before the rhyme. That's crazy.
I can't think of another one.
But yeah, I think it's really about like who is on your crew and like who you're surrounded with on the tour that makes a really big difference. And
Agree.
I loved hanging out with you guys. I had a really good time.
Yeah, man. It was super dope. Great crew. Went by super fast. Mainly, this one was a U.S. tour. One show in Canada, Toronto.
It's basically U.S.
Basically U.S.
Same thing.
But it was dope because we really hit like East Coast, Midwest-ish, and like Northwest Coast, Seattle. That was cool. That was a vibe. San Francisco
was crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to anybody in that Seattle crowd.
Yeah, shout out to Seattle. You guys had the craziest crowd I've ever played for.
That was freaking sick.
I'll never forget the jumping moment when like everyone kept jumping and I turned and looked at you and like both of us are jumping and we looked at each other and we were like, what the fuck? Like,
dude, the roof was like erupting in that place. It was about to blow off.
Yeah, that's my number one destination for like if I need a confidence booster in my career, I'm going to Seattle, 100%.
Yeah, that was freaking sick. I mean, there was a lot of good shows, not to talk us on the other ones, but
I think they were all great. There's only like one that I really did not think was great. Obviously things happened at like different ones. There's only one that I like left and was like sad as fuck after. But
it's a little bit
we're not gonna name it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the nature of the beast, every city, every crowd is different.
Especially at this level too. Like when you're Harry Styles or Drake or something, like I feel like every show is gonna be at least good enough. Even if there's technical difficulties, like when you're playing arenas, it's just kind of how it's gonna be. But for the first tour ever, like it's tricky finding spots that maybe aren't as dedicated as other cities or other countries or whatever it may be. But then there's also pleasant surprises. Like didn't know that Seattle was gonna go off.
Yeah.
And like I've heard New York is super stiff in like the audience vibe, but I felt like they were super fun.
Yeah.
One of my managers was like shocked that we even got them to like participate in the way that they did. He was like, dude, New York shows are impossible. Like this is crazy. So
for sure. That was a dope one too. I
think it was a good really starting one. It was fun. It set the tone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Totally agree. Yeah, great, man. Great tour, super fun. So just kind of dive into the weeds of a few things here. I think it'd be kind of interesting to talk briefly about prepping for tour and a little bit of the mindset behind that whole thing.
For sure.
What were some things that you were thinking about, some things that you wanted to do in preparation for this tour?
There's a lot of things. The first thing that comes to mind is the San Diego show that I played. I just did not play well, in my opinion, specifically instrumentally. It was my first time really picking up a guitar again since we played Avalon, which was over a year prior. So when we played the San Diego show, I felt like I was focusing a lot on what I was playing because I had not practiced enough. And so I wasn't able to give as much performance-wise as I like to. And so that was one thing that I definitely actively worked on before going on the whole run of it, was just playing a bunch of guitar and just getting more comfortable with it in my hands again. Because at the end of the day, I am like a performer and like a front man, if you will. And so I don't want to just be standing there
looking at your hands.
Exactly, which I felt like I was.
Yeah, and for most people that don't know, I mean, as far as what you're doing live, it's heavily involved in not just singing and crowd interaction. It's a lot of instrumentation. You're playing the piano, you're playing acoustic guitar, you're playing electric guitar, you're singing, you're putting it up, putting it down. We don't have like necessarily guitar techs where they're they're running all this stuff out to us, so it's like it's a lot for honestly the level kind of like at where everything's at, and so yeah, it's not like just a simple show up, let me sing a couple songs, let's touch some hands, and I'm out.
Yeah, for sure. Which I realized I was like diving into because all the touring I had done before, I would play piano on some stuff, on like some of the acoustic stuff, but it was either like a piano moment, and then the rest of it was all just up. It was just like jumping around, dancing around, singing, walking around the stage with a mic in my hand. I mostly didn't even have a mic stand.
Yeah.
And so going from that kind of touring to now having like multiple guitars and like the piano and having the mic and like different mic stands set up in different spots for different sections that I'm going to be at, and like, and it's still being on a small scale where we don't have techs like making sure the guitars are tuned and making sure the mic stands are in the right spot. Like me snapping the mic clip off almost like every show.
Yeah.
Because we had like a cheap clip that we got like last minute and nobody could ever check it, and it was like threaded wrong. And so every time I would get to the piano and I would try to move the mic with my hand to adjust it. And was one show in particular, I can't remember which city it was, but it snapped off in the middle of like the big first time part.
Yeah.
And so I had to play the riff with just my right hand.
Wasn't that in New York?
No, I think it was later in the tour. Because I felt like I was like, fuck it, I've already dealt with this before. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to fix it. I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on like the main riff in first time for like the second verse.
Yeah.
And so then I'm playing the and I'm just like holding the mic in this hand, singing and like trying to play the riff like one-handed. And yeah, there's definitely some difficulties not having text or anything, but
for sure,
part of touring.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it was just playing guitar, playing piano, always doing vocal warm-ups and getting my voice prepared, because what people don't think about is you're not singing for an hour and a half, 2 hours commonly when you're off the road. Like I'm never singing that much. Like I sing all throughout my day, but I'm not singing like a set length.
Yeah.
So to all of a sudden, then as soon as you start going into rehearsals, your voice is like, it's like not going to the gym for 6 months, 8 months, a year. And then all of a sudden you're trying to train like 2, 3, 4 hours, like nonstop. And it's like, it's hard.
The voice is a muscle. For sure gotta keep it in shape, you know?
Yeah. So it's a lot of like musical preparation like that, but then there's also mental preparation of like leaving your comfort zone. For me is a big one. And so it's trying to get a little more comfortable in uncomfortable situations before I go out, so it doesn't feel like as much of a shell shock.
Yeah.
And trying to take care of myself physically. I usually try to eat as much as I can for the few weeks leading up to it, because I know that I'm going to lose weight when I'm on tour.
Yeah. Could be like that. No, that's good. Yeah, I like that for sure. I think for me, a little slightly just different in the aspect of, you know, a lot of my preparation comes in the pre-production of everything. I should say the pre-preparation comes in the production of everything that we're doing. So, yeah, for me, I'm thinking about just the live show, the experience. You know, we're working on the intros, making some songs, some more cool live arrangements, outros, things of that nature, which is always really exciting and fun to do. And then, of course, getting in rehearsals and working them out, and lots of joys and things that come through that process that we've experienced, you know?
Yeah.
But,
to say the least.
You know, at the end of the day, it is dope. It's fun. I can't complain by any means. But as far as my department goes, I feel like, yeah, most of my prep just came really focused more in that world. And it was cool. It was cool to come together with some new members to the team that we haven't been with before, and some other members that we have been with before, which have been dope. So it was a cool like little camp for this run. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I would really say about the prep on my side of things. That was kind of the majority of things that I was involved with. I think we did some cool things with it too. There's a lot we could dive into it. I don't want to get too crazy. Like, I think the intro thing was a pretty sick idea.
For sure.
And like we prepped with that and like even included your dad in on that. And like it was just super dope. I mean, should we talk about it?
I think it would be. I think people would be interested. I think we can go over at least the intro because I think we've done some cool intros in the past, but I think this was the coolest and the most intricate.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for those who haven't listened to it,
so for anybody that didn't come to the tour,
you got to come to the tour.
Yeah.
No. I mean, do we want to explain like the whole thing?
I think we can just give it like a quick little, because we want like, I think it'd be cool for people to see it too.
It'd be fire for if I could like play it right now.
I mean, you could.
Should I? We got fire actually.
Why not?
All right. I'm going to play the intro right now and we're going to talk about it. 3, 2, 1. Put your headphones on. Go. Fire! That was fucking sick, bro.
Dang. That's my man G Money right there.
Hey, let's go.
And my man T Dog.
Hey.
Ooh, ooh.
So, yeah, for those who didn't come to the show, now you know. We were rocking that every night of the show, and we actually had Dylan's dad involved, and he did the voiceovers for obviously the speaking parts and the names of the cities that changed every night in every spot that we went to.
And it was really stressful because I was not a part of changing the names at all, and we would like be side stage and it would be playing. And I would look at Garrett and be like, did you change the city name? Like for this one, like every single show. And he'd be like, yeah. And then he'd be like, I think so. And then we would just sit there with our in-ears in, like all stressed. And we'd be like in Boston. And all of a sudden he'd be like, thanks for tuning in tonight. Lovely night in Boston. And all of us would be like, oh shit, okay, cool. Thank God. Because if it was like lovely night in New York, we would all be devastated, even though it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But we didn't fuck it up one time.
No, I don't know.
That's all you right there. So,
hey,
thank you.
You're welcome. It was sick. That was fun. Yes, luckily there were no hiccups and we didn't mess it up. So it was dialed every single time. And yeah, shout out to T-Dog for those voiceovers because that was sick.
Yeah, I think just like getting to come up with things to like at the level we're at, we're not really able to do like any like insane stage design or like come up with these like crazy concepts. Like the other night we watched the 1975 at their very best, the MSG video, like the whole set. And you see sets like that where it's like insane. Like the show, not only just like is the set absolutely insane and like the stage design and what they were able to build and achieve at all these shows, but like the little things as to like them turning on each lamp when they walk in and it lighting up, or like him crawling through the TV backstage and like the TV's moving around and showing the camera, like just like so many like crazy things. And they like have these moments and like these amazing different things. And they're changing outfits. They're coming back. There's so much crazy stuff happening. And like, we are not at this point at that place yet. And so I think, but one of the fun things about not being at that place is getting to have the creative freedom of figuring out what we can do to make it different, to make it exciting, to make it artistic with little to no budget. Because it's obviously really cool when you have a huge budget and you can build all these crazy things and you can have this insane stage and this incredible experience, which is what every artist wants to build up to. But there's something like artistically fun and valiant in saying, we have no money. or we have low money to do something like this. Like, what can we do to make this different? Because some people just walk out on stage as an intro. They just start playing a song and they walk out. I've seen some people, I've gone to headlining shows where they just walk on the stage. There's not even an intro. Like we went to the Laney show. And I know that you said that you've seen intros before, but we went to the Laney show. They just walked out to no music and just like waved and then just started playing music.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing, you know? But for us, it's, you and I have always been super aligned in wanting to create like an experience and make it a little bit different. Like you're not just coming to watch a band and see us play and play the songs exactly how you hear on the record and then go home. Like we want to create a moment. And so doing things like that intro, I feel like is just, it creates more of an experience. Like I wish that I could be a fan in the crowd and hear that intro to like an artist that I wanted to see, because I feel like I would be so stoked. Like you hear the footsteps and the breathing and the different songs and you're like, fuck yeah, like it's happening, you know?
Yeah.
So getting to be able to do stuff like that is just, it's fun. It's another way to express creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like that's, I mean, to me, I think about some of the shows that I went to just, I almost said growing up, but honestly, just like up until this point of my life, like that have really inspired me and made me feel something, and some of those memorable moments, and definitely just the intros of shows, you know, the anticipation is like wild. And that's definitely like a big thing for me where I'm like, dang, that was freaking sick. Like I would love to do that one day, you know, and here we are kind of doing it. So
for sure. And hopefully it'll only just keep growing and giving us more opportunities. Like I said, it's cool that we do it from like a low budget standpoint of like, how can we be creative with what we have? Mm-hmm. But it's just going to be more and more exciting to keep getting higher level and bigger and bigger and bigger until we can be coming up with stuff like the 1975 stage at MSG, you know?
Yeah.
And like having, because that'll be fun when we can sit down together and be like, we're creating an intro. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Yeah. What are we doing? You know?
No, for sure, for sure.
So that'll be cool.
Heck yeah. I feel that.
So what are some of your favorite moments of touring? And what are some of your least favorite moments of touring?
Well, and on that tour specifically or in general?
Just touring in general, I would say. They can be tour specific too if it was like some stuff that happened on that tour or a different tour. But I think just about like being on the road, like pros and cons of being on the road.
For sure. I mean, definitely easy answer as far as favorite moments would just, of course, be just being on stage, playing music live, seeing crowd reactions, people getting into the music, singing the words to songs that they almost like shouldn't know the words to, but they do, and it's like fire.
So you're telling me people shouldn't listen to my music? That's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
But I'm talking more like from a super fan level. You know what I mean?
No,
like the song's not really even out, and it's like they know. Like that's freaking crazy.
People were singing "Thank God" in San Diego, and the song came out like 30 minutes after our set started, or something like that.
Oh yeah, because it dropped like
that night.
Yeah, that's wild. Yes, exactly. So it's just like things like that where it's like that's freaking dope to see. You know, it's like man, people do care about like what you're doing. You know. And even just like musically, and people like just get into it. I don't know. The whole thing is like it's just fun to go hard with the people too. So definitely just live stuff, or the performing aspect of it, and then of course just like hanging out with like the homies during the whole time. It's like it's just super fun, you know. Every freaking day you get to travel with like the homies. You're on the mob. You're doing different things. You're eating different foods. You're like hitting a workout. Like, of course, there's specific memories I could think of, like even just like bowling with the homies and like just doing like the most random stuff, you know, on the road. But there's so many random things like that I love, that creates just like dope memories, you know, getting tatted with the boys backstage before we pop out on a show.
I will fight you right here and right now.
It's great times. It's good times. Yeah. Can I say? You know? So
I will break this camera right now.
It's things like that, you know. It's just like it's a once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah, you know, you might as well just live it up with a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
really just cement that memory forever.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Totally.
So,
Do you want to show the people some of your tattoos you've gotten on the road?
yeah, actually, I can't because I'm wearing long sleeves right now.
Oh,
And I got
yeah.
pants.
And the pants, see the
you
pants,
know.
yeah, for sure.
But if I wasn't wearing pants,
Mm-hmm.
then I could probably whip it out.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Next time.
Yeah,
I'll circle back on that one for sure.
100%.
But yeah, man, it was a good time.
What about not so favorite things about touring?
Several things. Number one, being away from my fiance, Rachel.
I hate that you said that like Beyonce. Fiance.
I know, I try to get all French in here. No, yeah, for sure. That just like being away, like that's tough at a point, you know. Yeah, you try to do the FaceTime thing and call and whatnot, but it's not the same, you know. It's not the same. But it was cool that she got to come out to one of the shows. She came out to the Seattle show. We got to hang out for a couple of days. Like, so when those moments happen, those are dope too. Those are also some of my favorite moments on tour. But that is definitely just being that is definitely one of the hardest things is being away from your family and your close friends, best friends, and stuff like that. And then I would also say, for me, one of the hard things on the road is trying to like eat healthy and still work out consistently. Because I feel like when those two things are off of my life, even when I'm not on the road, it's like I just feel bad and I don't feel like good about myself and I don't feel like I'm operating at a good level. My mental health just feels a little out. And when you're constantly traveling, I mean, you're pretty good at this, but I've never been like a great cook and stuff like that. So I just make the most basic things. And when you're traveling, it can be harder to cook and you're just kind of eating what you can find, certain things. So maybe you're eating less or whatever it is. Or you're in a cool place that has dope food, or like we're in Chicago, has this crazy pizza. And it's like, you're like, oh, well, when in Rome, got to try it, you know? And then all of a sudden it's been like 4 days of you just eating like trash. And you're like, God, I feel like the worst right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough in those moments, but then also, yeah, the gym moments where things are really busy and they're really back to back. Like you just don't really have time a lot of times to get a workout in. And it can all just stack on you over time and just feel like, eh. So
for sure.
That's probably what I would say. What about you?
Definitely. Leaving my fiance is really hard too.
Shout out Luna.
No, honestly though, one of the hardest parts for me, without a doubt, is leaving Luna. That's honestly probably the hardest part of touring for me. Like, just because I'm never like without her. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Luna's my dog. I would show you her because she's sleeping very cute over here, but she's out of frame. But she's adorable.
She is really cute right now.
She's all curled up in a little circle. But I've had her for in July, it'll be 7 years. And so I'm like very used to like spending a lot of my time with her and having her around and stuff. And so just leaving her in general, like saying bye to her because she sees the suitcases and she knows. And if I know I'm leaving for like weeks or months or something, it's like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like really, really hard. I get really sad. And she like won't eat when I first leave and it's like a whole thing. And so I'm like sad just thinking about it. But then it's also weird, like when I get like the first couple nights, I'm used to like, I've slept in a bed with Luna for almost 7 years.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning and like move my arm over like to like grab her and like won't feel her and wake up and be like, where is she? And then I have to like remember I'm like in a completely different place. And so that sucks. That's the worst part. So I can't wait till we're doing like bus tours.
Yeah.
Because then she's coming.
Hell yeah.
But that's really hard. Same thing that you said. It's really hard to eat healthy and work out. I think I do it probably more than the average person or artist touring just because I like really like to prioritize like eating good, because at least eating good, not necessarily the working out. Like I try to when I can, but eating good for me is like, I already get a lot of anxiety on tour, a lot of anxiety in general, but especially on tour. And if I'm like eating shitty foods, then it's making my stomach feel shitty. And I'm already like so anxious from like playing shows and stuff. I don't want to like feel horrible and then like try to go. That's gonna like make you lethargic on stage. And like, it's just a lot of stuff like that. And so just trying to feel as good as possible is really important. But that's really hard. The sleep schedule is hard.
Yeah, dude, especially when certain things are back to back. Like
for
that
sure.
San Francisco show, bro, it was like a blink. We were there, and then we had to get up crazy early and dip, and then play a show the next night. Like that
in
takes
LA,
a toll on you, man.
And I was sick. I woke up the next day and was like out, dude. I was so, that was bad.
Yeah.
So anything like that is pretty hard, but it just like, it's always worth it. As soon as you get on the stage, it's like, oh, everything the last 24, 48, 36, however many hours like held is worth it.
Yeah.
For this moment.
I do agree.
And then you repeat. It's the same thing, but like playing the shows and meeting the people and getting to play music, like it's fun when we're in rehearsals. And it's just like us in a room playing as a band and like writing cool little pieces to the music and like playing stuff, like it's fun. And so being able to play that in front of people and have people have like such good reactions to it and sing it back to us, and like we get to bond with each other and bond with a crowd of however many people over this like universal language of music. It just makes it so worth it, that the tiringness of the flights and the drives.
Well, there's someone at the door here. Let me check the video. Let me check the Ring app.
The beauty of podcasting in a house.
Oh.
Who's here?
Video processing. Sick. It's a dude in a red shirt. Maybe trying to sell something.
Oh yeah. No, that's all good.
We shall ignore.
We shall ignore.
Oh, it looks like he dipped.
Relax, Luna. Come here. Come say hi to the podcast. Come here. Come here. She said, no, there's somebody at the door and I need to protect. I protect, I attack. Anyway. I knew it was going to happen. It just makes it all worth it. It really does. So maybe tired, maybe have a lot of sleep deprivation and anxiety, and the trailer breaks down and the venue doesn't let you into this time, and this person gets sick, and there's so many things that can go wrong. But when you make it onto the stage and you get to connect with everybody, it's a whole different experience. It's a drug that I have never experienced. And
Facts.
I want it all the time.
For sure.
That's another thing too. Like, let's talk about post-show or post-tour depression. Because that's a thing. I don't know how much you experience that. I get fucking rocked by that. I know James gets rocked by that too.
Yeah.
I don't know how you are with that. Do you experience that at all?
I think to an extent. I think that like, are you talking like immediate, or are you talking like we're home?
We're home.
Okay.
So like post-show, like if it's a one-off, or like post-tour if we're like on tour.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the biggest factors, maybe this sounds like selfish, I don't know, but like one of the things that I think helps me through it is like knowing that if I have like another show or tour coming up next that I'm going to play, there's something to look forward to.
For sure.
Still. And sometimes if there's not, or there's a big break, then it's like, then it's like, oh, this is this is tough because it was like so sick, so fun. There's so much you want to do. I think sometimes it's inspiring though. I'm like, I want to write. I want to work on this. Like there's more things I can do now that I feel right now that I didn't feel before. You know what I mean? In some ways. So yes, I see both sides for sure. But it's tough too. I mean, again, because it's like, oh, you get to be home now, like with your people, your family, you know, whoever it is. But yeah, I know what you mean though, for sure. Like it can definitely be like, dang, this thing is over. We're not doing this anymore. Like we don't have another show coming up this weekend or this week in a few days. Like it can definitely be like, I know what you mean. But
yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying though about like the inspiration. Cause I know that when I came back from the tour, I was like excited to write. Yeah. And like I definitely felt inspired in that way, but I get rocked. I get really rocked. I think for me, it's a lot of like, it's a mix of two things really. It's like just the amount of dopamine and serotonin and different chemicals that are like being flooded into your brain over a short period of time because you're like I said, it's kind of like a drug. Yeah. So like when you're on stage, you're like high for a certain amount of time. And like you're chasing that high every night or every other night or every whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then when it's done, all of a sudden you're expecting that and it's gone. And you get that like withdrawal effect. Yeah. Especially at the beginning. And like, I noticed that too, like when I would tour for a while and then I would come back and like, if I was playing a show every night at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and then I would come back and I'd be sitting on the couch watching a movie at 9 p.m. and all of a sudden my heart would kind of start beating a little faster and I'd be like, why am I kind of like jittery right now? And I'd be like, oh, my body like it thinks that it's time to go. Oh, you know, like my body's like used to for the past 3 weeks at 9 p.m. like it's been kickstarting stuff and you've been doing it. So like it's like almost like your circadian rhythm. Yeah, which that's interesting. That was always like kind of weird to me. But the other thing I think is just like returning to a sense of normalcy is hard sometimes. I found it's not as hard like with this last one because I'm in like a better place in my like general life. But after the Avalon show and stuff like that, it was like such a high and I felt like on top of the world. And like you're playing the show, you're playing this music and there's like hundreds of people in the crowd for you and everyone's screaming the songs and everyone's talking to you. And after the show, you're bombarded by like so many people and they're so happy and like you're meeting all these people and like you feel like on top of the world, like you're doing something, you know what I mean? Like you're an important like person or like piece of this night or this life or whatever it may be.
Or just like all that hard work is actually like being realized.
100%.
You know, it's like.
And then you wake up the next day and it's so normal. Like I remember waking up the day after that show and like I woke up late and everybody had already gone because you guys all had like different plans and stuff. So everybody was gone. So I was just alone and I had to like clean up the place we were in and like pack up my stuff and get in the car and like grab Luna. And then I needed to like go get some breakfast. And then I had to like go to the grocery store because I needed to cook some stuff when I got home. And then I got home and I'm like walking Luna and I'm like living by myself and don't really have like, I was going back to such a like an ideal surrounding. Like I was just not in like a great place. And so it was such a dramatic difference from like Avalon show to home that like especially hit me super hard that it was like, oh, everything's back to normal. You're just a normal person, like, and nothing is special about you, you know? Yeah. And that's, you know, that's probably some ego issues to be worked out too, but it was tough. It was tough.
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I think partly too, for me, I realized that I maybe didn't experience that as hard as you was also like 2 days after we got back, I was proposing to Rachel and I had that whole thing like on my mind like crazy.
True.
And I was like, that was honestly like towards the end of the tour where my focus was like really shifted on. And so it was like, after this last show, like things are getting like real.
For sure.
You know, it's not like over for me. It is in this department, but like
You got other things to like be dealing with and like
things I was
enjoying.
Yeah. Things I was orchestrating in the background with tons of family and friends in a different city. And like, it was just a lot. So, and then that finally happened, which is amazing. And then it was fun. I got to enjoy that. And then it was like Christmas time. So then now we're thinking about Christmas and it's the holidays and with the family. So it was just, I don't know. For me, I think just this last one, there was a lot of things on.
For sure.
Back to
that
back
helps.
to back to back.
Mine was opposite. I got home and got the sickest I've ever been. Multiple bacterial infections and laid on my couch for like 3.5 weeks. Jeez. Like missed Christmas, missed everything. Like I was just down and out. So I got back from tour and I was on my couch alone, sick.
Dang.
And I was like, well, this is rough. But I was sick for like the past week and a half of tour too. So I was like kind of used to it. It was rough.
Yeah. I get you. Luckily, somehow I kind of like made it out alive. And like
everyone did. I was like the only person that got sick.
Well, Tati got sick.
But I feel like maybe I'm just a baby. I felt like she didn't seem like she got that sick. But maybe she was just as sick as me and I was just a big old baby, you know?
No, I don't think she was as sick as you, but she was kind of getting it at the end and like, I don't know. Of course we're all run down by the end of it, but it's like, that's part of the joys of touring, you know?
True.
Well, I think this could be a cool time to hop in to a couple fan questions if you're still interested in doing that.
We could do that for sure.
And then maybe we end it on that note.
Yeah.
So just to give the back story here, when we were in Toronto, we had a good idea while we were staying at this Conjuring house.
No, it was. Were we in the Conjuring house?
Yes.
We were in the Conjuring house, and Crew was in the Amityville Horror House, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had this super long drive. We were going from Toronto to Boston, and we were like, hey, you know, it would be kind of sick. We're all going to be in this van together for the next like 2 years. So we should record a podcast on the drive over. And we actually had like all the equipment, and shout out to the homie Daniel.
I miss you, Daniel.
He did photo and video on the tour, freaking crushed it. And he was
also
like,
the nicest person in the world.
True.
Continue.
And yeah, so he had all the stuff for it, and we were like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And Dylan threw up a poll on the Insta, letting the people know what we're doing. Tons of people submitted questions, and we hit the road, and we never did the podcast.
Well, because I ended up driving a like good portion of that drive, because we did it in the morning, and we were like, okay, well, let's wait, because I think somebody was sleeping, and we were like, let's wait until like everyone's awake.
Then we went to then we got breakfast. Back, had Dino Heads.
We did have Dino Heads.
Mobbing some Mario Kart.
We were playing Mario Kart, and then
party.
I switched to drive for a little bit, and then I ended up just driving like the rest of it, I think.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then we were like, then it got late and it was dark, and then it was just like,
touring is hard, guys. Okay.
Yeah. We were kind of the worst there. So it never happened, and then there was never really a great chunk of time for us to do it again. Mm-hmm. So we didn't. And when we got back, there was people that were like, yo, what happened to the pod? Like, I submitted some questions. And I was like, yeah, we never did that. But here we are today. We have another opportunity.
We do. There are a couple questions that I want to leave for future stuff with the full band.
Yes.
Because there are questions dedicated to the full band, which I think would be really fun.
Yes. 100%.
But there were a couple that I think you and I could answer.
We will circle back to this with the homies soon.
That we will. Let's start with, are meet and greets awkward?
I mean, that's definitely more of a question you could answer. I have opinions, but I'm not. You have more expertise.
I'd like to hear your opinions.
Well, I guess in the few things that I've been a part of, I think it depends. It always depends, because there's some people you meet and talk to and they're totally cool and can have normal conversations, and they like understand and they respect, I feel like, the dynamics, and they're just hanging and it's chill. And then there's other people I've met where it's like, okay, this is, a situation that is not going to be normal, and you're just going to do your best. You're just going to be nice regardless. It's all good. Some people, they don't know how to express how they're feeling, and you kind of understand that. At least I feel like I do. I don't know. Everyone's different, and then you're just, you try to do your best, and yeah, it can be awkward a little bit for a moment, but there's also there's a lot of dynamics to this. We don't need to get into all of it, but then there's also like the fans that are like into you on another level, and it's like, this is interesting. And that could be a whole nother conversation, but maybe we'll just leave it there. But I will say that I will also commend you again on this podcast. I feel like
love that for me. Let's keep this energy up.
You are very good at speaking to those that do not know how to speak. I feel bad. No,
I don't even know what that means.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way. But we'll just say in those awkward moments, I feel like you're good at talking to people in the awkward moments.
Well, thank you. I try my best. I mean, I do have to talk to you all the time. So
don't sample that. That's fucked.
No, I agree. I think, meet and greets are basically the same thing as like meeting people in life. Some people you click with more, some people you don't. Some people everybody has different personalities. You know what I mean? I think the common denominator for me that's cool about meeting these people is that they usually have stories to tell about, like, most of the time people aren't coming and doing a meet and greet with me that just like have heard a song or two and like it and just thought it'd be cool to come hang out. Like, most of them are like fans who like love the art and love the music, and they have stories of like something that it helped them get through, or like something that happened when they were in a certain point of their life and like they were listening to like this record or this song a lot or something like that. 100%. And so for me, it's really cool just being able to connect with people and see, like, on social media, it's hard because a lot of the times you don't feel like what you're doing is actually like affecting people
or connecting.
Yeah. Like, you see like something can have a bunch of streams or a bunch of likes or a bunch of whatever, but you're not seeing these people, you're not meeting these people, you're not talking to these people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it can almost seem kind of fake or fabricated in a way. But then when you talk to these people and they're telling you about how you've affected them and how they listen to this music and how they feel about you as a person, it's really just like amazing and inspiring to see that what you're doing actually like means something to someone, even if it's one person. That's always like a really cool thing for me. So I think that's what 100%. Keeps me like really enjoying that. Like, I'll never not want to meet people like that. That's why I'll do like the before show meet and greet stuff, but after the show, as much people as the security will let me talk to, like, I'll go out and talk and meet people, because it's just like, I don't know, it's exciting. Like, it's cool to see that you're like doing something that matters to anybody, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree.
So I don't think they're awkward. Like Garrett said, there can be some situations and some people that are a little more intense. Mm-hmm. But I still think overall it's fine. My favorite was when we were playing one of the venues and one of the girls was like, wow, like, this venue's cool. And I was like, thank you. And she was like, it's crazy. I haven't been to a concert in like this small of a venue in a long time. And I was like, that was a subtle roast. Like, that was crazy.
Yep.
But, you know, life goes on.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's fair though. That's all very fair. Another one was favorite song to perform. What's your favorite song to perform? What was your favorite song to perform on this tour? Because we played a lot of different songs.
On this last one, ooh, it is kind of tough. There's different aspects of the show that are like really fun because I'm also not just playing one instrument. So certain bass things are dope.
Yeah, shout out us playing 74 instruments.
Yeah, no one does it like us. And then there's like obviously like the keys stuff and the piano stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, a highlight of the show for me, of course, is gonna be the solo and Another Me.
Okay.
Just because it's always like really fun and yeah, it's just a vibe. But I don't know. It's hard to say if that's like my favorite song to play though. I mean, it is freaking dope, but man, it's tough too because even from like a production perspective, I'm stoked to like play this intro for everybody when I'm not on stage and like see what the crowd reaction is gonna be
for sure.
Because it is different. Some shows it's like hype, and sometimes it's like I feel like no one's even listening.
Like even noticed that the intro was playing. Yeah, for sure.
But then sometimes people are in tune. And
you know who noticed the intro?
Who?
Seattle.
Ooh.
Seattle. They knew the intro.
For
I could like hear them yelling from backstage, and I was like, sick. This is gonna be a good show.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a great answer. But
I'm getting that from you right now.
You know, the song kind of sucks.
I was gonna say this is just you hating my music at this point. That's crazy.
No, there was some dope moments, but if I had to pick one, I'll probably say it would be like the Another Me, the whole mashup and everything, because it's fun because I'm running back and forth between like your piano and then mine, and like we go hard too. I like going hard, so that's fun for me.
That's fair.
So if I had to pick one, I'll pick one.
Okay,
boom,
fair.
Okay, what about you?
On this tour, see, Happy Rare has been my favorite on most shows that we've done. But I would say on this tour, honestly, I think...
Honestly? Dang, that was your favorite, bro.
Definitely not.
Everybody listening to this be like, what are you talking about? Sorry.
Your insider trade secrets here.
I mean, it is, but it's also like the real ones. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one of you. It's Chelsea.
No, bro.
I think my favorite of this tour, which was a surprise to me, I didn't think it would be, but once we played it in San Diego, I was like, what? Yeah,
I agree.
Killing Me.
Yeah.
Killing Me went off. Yes. It was crazy. Like, I did not expect the reaction from that song that we got. Like, every time. Even when I would, like, tell the story, and then I would ask the question, is it killing you like it's killing me? Everyone would go crazy. And I was like they knew. What? Like, people like this song? Like, it was... That was like shocking, and everyone would scream it. And it's like I'm playing the acoustic guitar, which is fun. And the second chorus is like that big hit chorus, and that was really fun. So that was probably my favorite. What?
I thought maybe it's an honorable mention, but I thought you were going to talk about the jump moment.
I was literally just about to say, but also not favorite song, but favorite part was probably the jump moment.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why in my brain I was like, song part of the show. I was kind of giving multiple answers there. But
song Killing Me, but we did a jump moment, which is on my Instagram.
Should we disclose that information or just let it ride for the people that want to come see the live show?
I mean, they should come see the live show. Basically, there's a moment, and it's very fun, and the whole crowd gets involved, and that was really, really fun. And we definitely go hard on that one.
Yes.
So if you want to know what it looks like, then you gotta come to a show.
I love that. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I think I had like one more question that I saw.
So one more.
Which was, have there been any embarrassing or funny moments on stage? I can only really think of one. I don't know if you can think of any.
You go first. I'm still thinking.
Okay. I wouldn't say embarrassing necessarily. I don't think we've toured enough to have like somebody's pants rip yet or something like that, you know? I mean, I guess we have, but it hasn't happened yet. The one thing that comes to mind when I hear that is it's more funny. It's embarrassing in a musical way and funny looking back at it now, would be Toronto. So when we played New York, there was a section of one of the songs that we felt like droned on a little too long and like through tour.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, rough times there.
Through tour, like, and through shows, we changed stuff like within the set that we like, okay, we liked this, we didn't like this part, so we're going to change this for the next show and XYZ. And we made an adjustment between New York and Toronto. And didn't really have time to like run through it. We practiced it like twice at sound check, and that's like when we wrote the new part. And then that was like all we had because the sound check, the whole thing at Toronto like went way longer because it like opened later or something like that. So we're playing the show, and we all have in-ears in, like the in-ear monitors, and everybody except me, because my mic is going to the crowd, has a microphone of their own. It's called a talkback mic. And any one of the band members or crew members can talk into it, and it will go directly into all of our ears. So like if we need something changed from the mix from front of house, like Garrett or anybody else can go on the mic and be like, hey, we need like this down or this up, or like, hey, like this technical thing is happening, my pack that, any new batteries or something like that. And so we're playing this new part, and we're all just kind of locked in on the show, and we get to the part and I'm the only one that remembers that we like changed this part at the very beginning of it. And so I kind of like turn and look, and everybody's just kind of like vibing in the band. And then I look, and like as I look at Garrett, he like kind of remembers like, oh shit, this is happening too. And so we were supposed to do like a one hit like ending thing at this certain part, and before there was a pause. It's very hard to explain, but basically we royally screwed it up. I hit the one hit, Garrett hit it a little late, James hit the pause, hit it again, and then Britt like hit the one hit, and then she saw that like James hit it late and like a couple of us hit it off, so then she tried to hit it at the end too, and it was like a very obvious fuck up by all of us. Like obvious. It was just not good. And it's just funny because the music's like ringing out like all chaotically and terribly, and Garrett goes on the talk back, and I'm like trying to be composed in the front of the stage, and Garrett in the talk back in our ears just goes, oh, we fucked that up. Fuck. Oh God, that was bad. We really fucked that up. And it's like playing in the ears as the guitar is like ringing out, and I'm like trying not to laugh at how bad that just was on stage. And it was like one of the last songs that we played. Then we all walked off stage, and the first thing we said was like, wow, we really fucked that part up. Like, that was really bad. But I just think it was really funny because Garrett was just like panicking in the mic. He was like, we really screwed that up. Like, so that was my one moment I can think of.
Yeah, that was a dagger. A bit.
That's rough.
A little like, try to wash that.
No, I have a new embarrassing moment I just thought of. Boston. When Britt's pack died. And I was trying to be a comedian. You remember nothing. Okay.
Wait. Oh, Boston. I was thinking like Chicago for some reason. Like,
no.
Nothing happened, bro.
No, Boston. Okay, so we're playing Boston. I'm going to tell the story. You'll remember it at some point. This is a shorter story. We're in Boston, and Britt, our drummer, her pack like died, or it like switched to a different signal or something, so she couldn't hear anything.
Yes.
And so I would like tried to cue a song with like my like whatever, and I look back, and they're like all struggling, and I hear them talking in the ears about like my pack's not working, blah, 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 like in the talk back. So then I'm like trying to talk to the crowd, and I'm trying to like say some things and like keep them occupied while they're figuring that stuff out. And it was just like not a super lenient crowd. And so I was like trying to talk and like nothing was really cutting through and it was just like really like awkward. And so I'm like, I finally get to a point where I'm like, all right, well, with that, this next song is this, because I just felt awkward. And I'm like standing there like getting ready and then nothing's playing. And I'm like, and I just like turn around to look to see like what's going on because the music hadn't cued and all of you guys were off stage.
Oh, this is probably why I don't remember this then.
Fair. You guys were all off stage trying to fix the pack. So you were like all side stage, like trying to fix Brit's pack because it like completely stopped. And I was like, this is the next song. And I turned around, nobody was there. And you guys all looked at me and you were like,
okay.
And I was like, or it's not the next song.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And that's when I was like, welcome to Dylan's Comedy Club. But I like was so nervous. I was like, well, the Dylan's Comedy Club.
Oh, God.
That was not a great moment for me.
I do remember that.
That was one of the few times that I am really out of my zone where I'm like, was very uncomfortable, like speaking and was like, please get me the fuck out of here. Like, just wheel me away.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like it took the whole story for you to remember that.
Well, I feel like it didn't affect me that much. So it wasn't like,
Must be nice.
It wasn't as implanted in my memory.
That's fair. It's implanted. I have nightmares about it every night.
But I do recall.
Welcome to Dylan's Comedy Club.
Oh, God. I feel you. Okay, I have two quick ones that aren't as cool as what you just said. But I feel like
cool is a stretch of a word.
I feel like one of the daggers for me, slightly, that was just semi kind of like, this was more of like sad, embarrassing, a bit. Not funny, embarrassing. This is actually kind of like, oh, sad. But I feel like when we played Sex.
That was rough.
By the 1975, we tried to throw a little cover in San Diego, and like nobody either like had heard of that song their entire life, or they were just like not into it. And it just was like one of those songs where like, you're just like, God, please let this end. Like
never ending song seconds. From hell. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, I swear we don't suck. Like this is like not that bad.
I feel like we crushed it too. Like we like good. We played it good and just nobody, it was like nobody had ever heard of the 1975 before. It was crazy.
Yeah. And we were like, just what are you going to do? You know, you got to just go hard. And it's like, it can be hard to like just get into it and almost like you're just looking at the people just like staring at you like, what is this?
Play Love Is Gone.
Yeah. And so that was just kind of where it was like, dang, I don't know why I feel like embarrassed almost playing this right now. Like, why should we feel shame?
Yeah.
We're not like screwing this up or it's not like horrendous.
I know.
I mean, it was almost worse than someone not booing you, you know? Or it's worse than someone booing you.
I was like, what?
Because I don't know, at least they're like, F you, this sucks. But this was just like,
I don't know, bro. If somebody booed me, I think I would
okay, you're
cease
right.
to exist.
That would be kind of rough.
I'm a Leo. That's rule number one.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weirdly embarrassing.
Needless to say, we have not played Sex since.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it just shouldn't have been that bad, but it just weirdly was. So anyways, I'd say that. And then another one was my strap on my bass like came off.
Oh shit. I forgot about that.
And it wasn't like that embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing though. You know, you're like holding it up, getting ready to rock, and then it's like just like snaps off your chest, and I'm like grabbing it while it's like hitting the floor.
I remember I was like playing guitar on whatever song it was, and I remember just like turning like quick as you do, and Garrett's like standing up like with his knee in the sky like this, like holding the bass on it, and I didn't realize his strap had broke. And he's just holding his knee up, and I was like, "Damn, he's getting into it! Like he's just rocking that knee up, like
style,
he's
right?
killing it." And then I heard like James in the ears be like, "Oh shit, your strap broke!" And I like turned and was like, "Oh, he has to hold the bass up with his leg." Yeah. So yeah, that was. I wouldn't even say that's embarrassing. That was gangster, dude. That was gangster.
Appreciate that.
Got you.
No, it just felt kind of like embarrassed. Like, dang. And then I like saved it. And then I had to just 1 foot it. So it was just kind of weird, but it was chill. So
turned out good.
Yeah. It was cool. It was fun. All right. I think we wrap it up there, no?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of Sample That Podcast. Catch you in the next one.
And if you have any ideas for episodes that you want to hear from us or any questions that you want to ask us and get some answers on, we'll do some specific poll-based ones like prior to certain episodes and stuff too. But feel free to DM either of us at Dylan Matthew or at Garrett Schwank, right?
Hey, yes.
Double R, double T.
GARRAWT.
And just ask us any questions or say any ideas of episodes that you want to hear about, whether it's like one question in an episode or an entire episode dedicated to a certain topic. We're down to talk about anything at least that pertains to us. Maybe don't ask us about like cars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something I wasn't good at. I was like, what? Cars. I don't know cars.
Sames.
But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in.
If you haven't subscribe and share it with a friend because I think they'll like it.
He's better at that than I am, so you do that every time.
All right, catch you next time. Peace.
Later, guys.